I don't know whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, I passed Hirsch's store. Now, I often hear the debates about whether you like or do not like the Lucy Hirsch advert. And I'm hoping that I will be a little bit like a Lucy Hirsch advert for road safety in South Africa this evening for 10 minutes. And then you will debate whether you liked or didn't like what I said, because it is a serious subject, especially for an organization like the QuadPara Association of South Africa, who is the NGO that looks after the needs and provides opportunities for quadriplegics and paraplegics in South Africa. And where do we come from? 250 of us come from catastrophic injuries as a result of road accidents, mainly and often because people were not using their seatbelts. And so our organization, over and above providing what you would expect from us, and that is giving wheelchairs away, giving skills development, providing employment opportunities, providing independent living opportunities, taking care of health and wellness of quadriplegics and paraplegics. About 20% of our budget goes to prevention of spinal cord injury through a number of prevention programs. For instance, we run a television campaign every year to stop people running and diving into the sea when they go down to the fruit dump on holiday. And it does create an impact. We have signs up that we put at dams and resorts and pools, as they say in Afrikaans, to stop people running and diving into the dam, because it is often the cause of spinal injury. And then we have two campaigns. One has been very visible over the last few years in road safety, and I remember going to see the late Minister of Transport many years ago, and I think Ashraf was there as well on that particular day, and we came up with a campaign called Buckle Up, We Don't Want New Members. And so the QuadPara Association says, buckle up, we don't want new members. The slogan is catchy, it makes everybody smile, and it does have an impact. It's very difficult to measure, but what we do is we employ 45 quadriplegics and paraplegics 3 times a year at 8 garages on the national roads, and they would approach the motorists who are coming to refuel on their way on holiday and explain to them that if you're not using your seatbelt in the event of an accident, the chances of a spinal cord injury are greater. Now, we don't have to go and prove it because the facts speak for themselves, and I don't want to get too technical. I want to be a little bit of fun, and as I said, I want you to remember Lucy and I after this evening. And if the motorist signs a pledge to buckle up, then they get one of these license stickers, which you have all received this evening. And so it's a great way for us to talk to the public about using their seatbelts. What can we do about stopping road crashes? I don't know. That's in your hands, and you need to debate that, and you need to work that out with RTMC and GRSP and DOT and SADDT, and everybody needs to collaborate and do something a lot more effective than that's what's being done at the moment, with respect. That's an awesome campaign, and it's funded by ourselves. Whether you want to help us fund or not is immaterial. You know, we're not looking for the check, we're looking for the impact, because, of course, that if we just save one person from becoming a quadriplegic, it saves us, ourselves, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 rand a year looking after the person, let alone saving the Department of Health or private health care. But now let me talk to you about my next, I don't know whether it's my least or most favorite subject, and that is distracted driving. And it gives me an opportunity to just tell you that we are going to arrive quite soon. I hope I didn't say this a year ago, but this type of campaign takes a long time to plan. And I will tell you that all of these road safety programs that we're involved in, they take partnerships. We cannot be successful if we don't have partnerships, and we have got strong partnerships with a number of people that are here already. I do find it very, very strange that road safety, it's about saving people's lives and saving people's health and stopping them getting catastrophic injuries. I believe South Africans are very naive about looking after themselves once they get into vehicles anyway. And And I just wish people would take responsibility for themselves when they get in their vehicles. And it should be a natural thing for them to use their seatbelts. And so let's talk about distracted driving. I find it quite amazing that we passed a law in this country that says that you can't hold a cell phone and have a conversation. So your hand is here. Whether I've got something in it or not in it. I mean, if you put a cell phone in, I get a 500 Rand fine. If I just drive with my hand here, it's zero. I don't get fined at all. I don't see the difference between having something in my hand, it could be a cigarette box, or having a cell phone. I could be having a conversation with the person next to me, or if I'm talking on the phone, then I'm in for 500. For us as QASA, we subscribe to only this. You should not be talking on your phone while you're driving your car. We believe in phone off, car on, car off, phone on. That to me is going to stop a lot of road crashes in South Africa. And then of course there's the texting and driving. And so we're going to embark on a campaign that's going to be visual, and also we're going to get our people to talk to people. We're not going to use sort of threats by saying, this is what happened to me. But we are now starting to get people that are quadriplegic and paraplegic because they were texting and driving, or they were in the vehicle when the driver was texting and driving. It was funny, the other day on the beachfront, I saw two lighties, one walking towards the other. They don't know each other, and they're texting or mixing or whatever. On the beachfront, they bumped into each other. It just says to me, and I mean, can you imagine one day those two will be driving the car, they'll be doing the same. We've got a generation of people coming onto the roads now, and that's all they do. That's their way of communication. It's often their existence is texting, and now they're going to be driving cars. We have to stop that. I don't know whether there's a law that you can pass, that you can police, that stops people texting and driving. But can we talk to the mobile phone companies and say that if a mobile phone is registered at going more than 30 kilometers an hour, even Ford us would back, the phone automatically turns off. Is that possible? I don't know. Because, sorry, maybe the passenger says, well, what about me? I'm making the call, or I'm doing the texting. But there's got to be a creative way for us to stop the carnage on South African roads, which causes injury, which bring mean members, and it's going to be caused from distracted driving. So please, everybody here know that you won't only hear me this evening, but you will hear about our organization, and you can feel from my voice, and you can hear, not from my arrogance, but maybe my urgency, that we are serious about stopping distracted driving by finding a way of getting people to stop using their mobile phones while they're in their car. It's not about hands-free, and to get them to stop texting while they're driving in a vehicle. And there are figures that tell you, that come out of America, what percentage of your brain goes to a phone call depending on who you're talking to. They say if it's your wife or your husband, it's 5%. If it's your girlfriend on the side, it's 15%. Of your brain moves from watching the road to the conversation. We do giggle about it, but it's actually not a laughing matter. And so please know that there are other organizations that deal with other issues that create road crashes. And I'm also a big one. I know by default sometimes I use the word accident. There's no accident. There are no accidents. They're all crashes that happen on our roads. So please be aware, and please take note of QASA's commitment to stopping distracted driving. There are some ways. I don't know if there's anyone here from BP, but follow BP's example and say that they changed the employment contract of all their employees that says if you caught using your phone while you're driving during working hours and you work for us, it's a dismissible offence straight away. Isn't that a good way of stopping distracted driving? And I know people that say, I don't do distracted driving. I've got a hands-free kit. You've got to understand, it's not about that. It's about engaging in a conversation with somebody on your mobile phone while you're driving a car. It's not about what your hand's doing. You can be eating a burger, you can be doing your hair. We're serious about getting people to stop talking on their telephones while they're driving and stop texting. I'm going to end off now just with making one or two comments. Marius dropped me an email and said to me, please contact Hilton. And when I phoned Hilton, he He said, wow, I've been trying to get hold of you. You know, you've saved my day by agreeing to come and do this talk. I haven't saved your day, Hilton. You save yourself. And all of you save yourself by not talking on your telephones when you leave this conference and when you go home. And do not text on your phone. We save ourselves. Nobody saves us. It's a simple message. I end off a lot of the talks that I do, mainly in the disability sector, by quoting a slogan or a quote that I've made up after all of the years I've had as a person with a disability, and that's 27. I broke my neck in a diving accident at Durban's Waterworld 27 years ago, and then subsequent to that finished studying and got into working in the disability sector and you know, reflect on what disability has meant to me and what it's taught me. And then I'll adjust it a little bit to try and put my point across this evening whilst ending off. But let me first say thank you very much for the opportunity to push my message to people that, oh, everybody standing here, I know you're committed to road safety, but be aware that us, the victims of road safety, are just as committed, and we will demonstrate that to you. We're not just going to talk about it. And that is this. If you can see, then you must have vision. If you can hear, then you must listen. And if you can walk, then you must walk this talk. Thank you very much.